Welcome, everybody, to the Friar Talk podcast. Today, we're going to be recapping the Diamondback series, talking about why there are so many Padres pitchers that have arm injuries, and then we're going to finally wrap it up with a preview for the San Francisco Giants series. So I'll let you start out, Isaac. What are just your overall thoughts on this most recent Diamondback series?
The first game was obviously not what we wanted. Chris Paddock went out there through 6 innings. He should have only thrown 5. For me, it's like, okay, if you get 5 solid innings out of Chris Paddock, just yank him. Because the odds of you throwing him out there and having a good 6th aren't very high. But overall, that was an okay game. We didn't really hit, not very many instances of timely hitting. But the second game is where our offense came alive. And I think with something that has to do with that is their approach at the plate. We saw a lot of instances where they were swinging at the first or second pitch and they were taking advantage of the mistakes the pitchers were making. And that's a huge thing, especially with our kind of lineup when you're stacked from 1 to 8, unless Tommy Pham is in the lineup. When you're stacked like that and you take advantage of those crappy pitches down the middle or those hanging curveballs, like, for example, Manny hitting a triple down the line to clear the bases, that's huge. And that's how you're going to end up with those 12-run games and dominating teams that you should be dominating, like we did with the Diamondbacks in the second game. So, overall, it was a bad first game, great second game, really good second game. And hopefully that carries on to this big Giant series. I know, like, at the beginning of the season, we wouldn't be saying this is a big Giant series, but this is a big Giant series now. So hopefully that carries over.
Yeah, dude, that series, the last game against the Diamondbacks was amazing. That's kind of the baseball I've been wanting the Padres to play. You saw a lot of doubles, the singles, Machado's triple. You get a couple of those home runs. I think Cronenworth's finally starting to break out of his slump, which was great to see. Mateo hit a home run, kind of making us eat our words, but, happy for that. We're always happy to have guys prove us wrong. Weathers kind of went out early, so, the game was like, wow, we could get swept by the Diamondbacks here, and that's not what we need. Padres came out and played good baseball. The bullpen did pretty well. Paddock, like Isaac said, he will give you 5 solid innings. If you can get Paddock to go 5 innings and 2 earned runs, yank him while you can, because if not, it's just going to get worse from there. We're going to need our top 3 guys for the next 3 games to at least go 6 innings. Our bullpen has been absolutely obliterated at the beginning of the season. We have the most innings pitched in baseball with our bullpen, so we need some help there. Maybe Mackenzie Gore brought up for this next series with Warren Weathers maybe going down with some dead arm. Last time he went down with dead arm, he was out for 3.5 weeks. So, we can only have so many pitchers to call up before Gore. And, why not it be our top prospect?
Yeah, that's going to be something that's going to be real interesting how it plays out, depending on if Ryan Weathers does, in fact, miss 3.5 weeks. And I think the last time where he had that injury, I think it was 2017. So it was a long time ago that he had that similar injury. It might have been 2018. But overall, I think there was a couple guys that really stood out in this. I mean, it was a quick 2-game series, so there's not a ton that we could take away from it. I think, Chase, you said the series was going to be a 1-1 split. We all had our doubts about the Chris Paddock start. And I don't even know if I would put this start on him that much, because he was doing pretty good. And then they brought him out for the extra inning. And I think every Padre fan just kind of was shocked that they did that, because Jace Tingler has been so pull happy with Blake Snell and some of these, and Joe Musgrove and some of these other pitchers, where it was like, why are we keeping Paddock out here for the 6th inning, but we can't keep these other guys out here for 6? And it was just a little bit frustrating. And then they got burned because that happened. But also the bats were just non-existent on that Tuesday game. But then we flipped to Wednesday. I think the 2 guys that have to be mentioned, one, Fernando Tatis. We've been talking about his breakout, so we'll have to get in that in a little bit here. Just talk about, hey, it's here. Like, he's coming back. He's starting to feel himself a little bit. That swing's starting to work out a lot. But the other guy, which I'm super, super excited for, Ha-seong Kim. And I think every Padres fan is so happy about this. I think Ha-seong Kim, maybe the second best smile on the team after Jurickson Profar. But I think every single person, he hits, it was a single and a double, I believe, even though that first one it could have been a double, I think. But 2 big time hits, runners in scoring position. We've been kind of waiting for him to break out. All 3 of us believe he has the tools and the ability to be a really solid MLB player, but just the production hasn't really caught up. Well, now Ha-seong Kim comes out 2 for 5, Cronenworth has kind of been slumping a little bit lately. Now, he did hit a home run on Wednesday, which obviously helps his case. But I think that Ha-seong Kim is starting to get ready for a little bit of an expanded role. It seems like he's adjusting to the speed of the MLB, but what do you guys think about that potentially being the case?
Yeah, what a good game by Ha-seong Kim yesterday. I told my little brother, like, watch this. Ha-seong Kim's about to hit a double. And he did it. Because my little brother's like, oh, man, Ha-seong Kim is up. He sucks. And I'm like, no, watch this. It's just he needed time to adapt to the speed of the game. And, the level of competition from where he was playing compared to now is much different. But he is a very talented player. He's going to figure it out. And if he can get into that expanded role where if Cronenworth is in a slump and he needs an off day, you feel like way more comfortable than any other team having Kim, who obviously has the potential that we all know he has. You can plug him in at second, get him some at bats, and not only are you going to get some production out of him, hopefully, but you're going to get him experience in the bigs, which obviously we all know he needs. But definitely an expanded role for Ha-seong Kim is something I'm looking forward to. He's an all-around infielder. The only position he can't play in the infield is first. So that's a huge thing for him. If if Nando needs a day off, Manny or Jake, that's huge. So I definitely hope he gets an expanded role soon, and hopefully we see more great at-bats from him.
He always was coming in, to be this kind of super utility role that Profar was in the same situation. And, maybe they start to give him some outfield reps just so that, he can get more at-bats in everyday situations. And in case that we need him, he can probably play that left or right field. Fans banged up. Myers has kind of had some knee problems in and out of games, and he's kind of slumping too. So if Myers needs a break, and we can put Ha-seong Kim in the outfield and him just continue to hit the cover off the ball, man, be good for his development. And just having another guy that can play everywhere, it's just really important to have.
Definitely a guy I think that all Padres fans should be very, very excited about. So hopefully we see him in an expanded role. Also, another guy that they could kind of move into the outfield a little bit more could be Jake Cronenworth. I think we were texting about that a little bit, just that could potentially be what they do as well. But I think that we could definitely see a couple other guys being just kind of resting guys in the outfield every once in a while. Ha-seong Kim, Jurickson Profar obviously already does that, but also Jake Cronenworth, maybe we'll see him in left and right field a little bit. We brought up Tommy Pham. He's actually been doing a little bit better. He's hitting 180 now. So hopefully that unluckiness kind of starts fading away, because that would be massive if he can be in that 6-7 spot and be the typical Tommy Pham that we were expecting at the beginning of the year and even into last year. But if he can stay healthy and kind of get going, that would be a huge addition to this team as well. Will Myers has been slumping a little bit, but this team has the depth to make it work. But he did come in, have a pinch hit RBI. Even though it deflected off the shortstop's glove. But I mean, overall, I think this was a quality series. But let's finish it off with just talking about Fernando Tatis. Got robbed of a home run, unfortunately, but that was an amazing play by the Diamondbacks right fielder. Just like full extension over the wall. So got to give him props there. Fernando was laughing about it. He knew, he's like, all right, got to give this guy his respect. He went up and robbed me on that one. But Fernando comes out. He is by far, we were talking about, you talked about this a couple series ago, Isaac, that we need that spark plug, and that's always going to be Fernando. I think that's been as prevalent as it could possibly be over this Dodgers and Diamondback series, because every time he comes up, he is lasering the ball to someone almost every single time. He had the double in the Diamondbacks game. He also he lined one, I think it was either to short or to third, where he just ripped it down. And so he's just been hitting the ball super, super well. Now, the only issue with his game, also real quick, averages up to 262. So he was at under 130 about 6 games ago. So that just shows how good he's been playing. He did have his 10th error, though. And on the ESPN broadcast during the Dodgers game on Sunday, they were talking about that it's going to take a while for him to kind of get his legs underneath him, just because he didn't get to have that spring training. He didn't really get to have all of his, he didn't get to have all of the time to adjust into being an infielder this year in training camp. So it's been tough for him to kind of get his legs underneath him. And what I've seen is when he throws a ball, you can almost tell immediately if it's going to be a good throw or not based on where his feet are, because sometimes he's planted in a good spot. And it's like, okay, that ball's going to get delivered there well. Other times he'll look like he's falling over when he's throwing. I don't know if you guys have noticed this as well, but whenever that happens, that's when he's skipping them into the dirt in front of Haas. And And Hosmer's actually been doing a pretty solid job of picking some of these brutal throws by Fernando, but it's been a lot of bad throws. So I just wanted to kind of see your guys' feelings on him definitely breaking out in terms of hitting, but also when do you kind of expect him to be back to his normal self at shortstop?
Yeah, so how about all that trolling from Dodger fans after that first series saying Mr. Tatis is batting 130? Yeah, how about a week later when Fernando Tatis is 20 points higher than Mookie Betts and now leading the second in the league in home runs or something like that? I mean, that breakout was huge, and he did it at the right time. You know, hitting 2 home runs off Kershaw, then Bauer, and then 1 off May. That's what a big time player does. Big time players show up in big time moments, and that was a big time moment that he showed up in. So it was definitely great to see that breakout. He's carrying it on to this Diamondback series. Hopefully, he carries it on to that Giants series. So that's going to be a big series. There's really not much to say on offense because this is kind of what we expect from Fernando, right? I mean, that's just my opinion. We expect him to be that spark. We expect him to be the heart of the team. And Manny said it best yesterday. When one guy gets going, the whole team gets going. Well, when this one particular guy gets going, the Padres are at their best. So, you know, that's really good to see. In terms of defensively, I'm not really worried about it. 10 errors, so be it. I mean, he's gonna be fine. He was a first-team All-MLB shortstop last year. So, you know, I have all the confidence in the world that defensively he's going to pick it up. Those throws in the dirt, they're going to pan out. The dude throws 95 across the diamond. It's not like he can't make it there. So he's going to be fine. Defensively, he's going to be fine. He's going to pick it up. And I'm very excited to see that because I think we can see an MVP caliber player.
He just needs to keep working on his fundamentals with his footwork, you know, during pregame and stuff. It will come around. There's just some of the throws that he's made. It's just him trying to do too much at the time. He just needs to learn sometimes just to eat the ball is better than trying to chuck it across the diamond at 100 miles an hour and pray to God that it gets there. Because we've seen him make some great, you know, diving catches on one hops and be like, okay, great, now hold it. And then you see him getting up and you're like, oh no, this is going to go south. Then there was the one where like, okay, Cronenworth should have been at the bag, but Tatis probably should have really just held that because it was going to be a bang, bang play either way. And if he holds it, a run doesn't score. And then the inning may have not gone out of control. But, you know, he'll learn. He's young. He wants to make all the plays that he possibly can. He wants to throw the ball 100 miles an hour across the diamond as much as he can. He'll learn that just set his feet, make an easy throw to first. Maybe it doesn't go through Hosmer's glove anymore, but you know what? He'll get there. Offensively, man, the dude's a monster. Defensively, he was outstanding last season, and he'll get there this season. It's just been a little bit of a rough patch.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling as well. Offensively, he's been carrying the Padres right now, and he started that rally in the 5th inning where they end up having 7 consecutive hits. I'm super excited for it. I think we're gonna see him just continue to dominate. So always looking forward to that. But I think that's gonna do it for this recap right here.